Yo.
Oh, wow. Welcome back, everyone. So we are at round 5, just giving you all a heads up that are people watching at home. There is going to be a lunch break
That's
after
right.
round 5.
That's right.
So, yeah. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to get straight into the gameplay.
He doesn't even want to preamp. We're
Yeah,
just
man.
straight
I
into the
just want to go
gameplay.
straight into it.
Oh. That is a color of green and purple.
Lim.
Have you played the Odyssey games?
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
Oh.
No. Not my vibe. Not my vibe.
But you haven't played it, so you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. No.
But what we do know is that Lim is indeed undefeated at the moment. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah,
my
it's
God.
XO. Yeah.
XO.
Yeah, XO.
XO.
Well, no. Well, we'll see what sort of shenanigans this Lim player has concocted in their deck. What do you think? I'm just trying to think from the top of my head. Lim plays 6-cost Law these days? Not really, because I know that it can bounce back 5 costs or less. What do you think?
No, we're not worried about playing 6-cost Law. No shenanigans needed there. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be ramping fast, and we're going to get to our 10-cost Shanks. So the green Shanks from OP13 says restand all your Don. You can't play any cards from your hand. For whatever reason, Lim's leader ability says, but we can play cards.
Yeah, it
Check this
bypasses
out.
it because it is a leader ability. Because you're not playing it from your hand. You're
You're activating a leader ability.
That is correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
So,
I remember that was like one of the big discussions actually when Shanks was revealed, if that would be the truth, and the truth was the truth.
I'm real like I've been playtesting with Lim. Apparently, it's known to I was watching this one deck on YouTube, the Lim, the Emu Destroyer, because it can bounce back Magellan onto the field and then using the 6-cost Law. So we'll just have to wait and see there. Our ace player is going second here. Plays 1 for the Searcher. Garp.
Top 4.
Top 4. Let's see if they get a. Let's see. There is a couple. There's the Yamato available there, but gets the Jozu instead.
I think the Jozu makes a lot of sense here.
Why is that?
Oh, why is that? Oh, sorry. I didn't want to elaborate. You just want to keep Lim's resources down, and Jozu allows you to keep that value going. And playing the Otama makes sense as well because once again, Lim's not going to be able to deal with that Otama, and Jozu will be able to bounce that back to hand.
Yeah. Now, Lim most of all, in the Lim deck, most of them are just 5 costs apart from that 10-drop Shanks. Is there any cards that the ace player needs to be aware about?
There's a few shenanigans that Lim can do. There is also could be playing the 9-cost Zoro as well. Always just a great value card. Could be playing the Magellan as well if they value that. Looks like they're playing stuff like slow beam. That's right. As we all know, that is it's a 2-cost counter minus a Don. Rest the opponent's character, and then it's more like 2k counter, I think.
Yeah, and that is a great a great card to have, especially against the ace matchup, because I mean, look, it's not limited to a cost requirement when it comes to resting. It can just be any character on the field. So that 10 bid, just blocker. Its blocker ability won't be able to be used if the Soso Beam tends to be if the Soso Beam is activated with 3 costs on 3 Don onto the field. Just contemplating, is he going to use the?
You would expect a leader ability here to start the ramp process, but maybe we did see 2 slow beams installed. Maybe this is just one of those hands that you are kind of stuck in a rough place there, because there are cards that sometimes you don't want to play on your first turn, such as like the 5-cost Nell, which allows you to draw 2 cards if there are 2 rested cards. That effect doesn't happen at all. You just play it and ramp it on essentially. So we'll have to see what the Lim does. I think it's a very awkward turn, but does use the leader ability into the 5-cost Sabo from the anniversary. Very nice looking card. And that says on attacking, draw a card and trash a card, I believe.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Lim player didn't manage to get the 1-cost Lim that enables you to just restand one of your Odyssey characters. There's also the 1-cost, and is it the 3-cost as well? Or is it the 3-cost is just a Searcher, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Now going over here, ramping up to they just passes the turn straight away, plays a Marco. Passes the turn back to Lim, restands his Sabo.
So sorry, just to butt in very quickly, Paul. Sabo actually needs 3 cards rested to then just draw a card.
And speaking of which, there is going to be that Sanji able to restand on play 2 more 2 Don, so playing it for basically using.
Yeah, well, for only 3 Don, and then you know what works well with 3 Don? Ramping as well, Paul. Look at this.
Just filling up the board as well as ramping, putting up the extra aggression in the early stage. Gets himself the
ace on
ace. Yeah.
I do believe this ace is also a 2K counter, but yeah, and also because due to the fact that Lim says any character that is played has to be rested, and is going to rest this Sabo. So this Sabo, sorry, going to rest the Marco, but then this Sabo is also going to allow Lim player to draw a card, and that's card advantage. That's what you need.
Yeah, and still contemplating whether he's going to swing with a 5-cost Sabo, which he does exactly. Swings 6 into lead.
That's correct.
We'll have to pitch out 1 to go up to 7, and that's not Ace's problem. It should be pretty easy. Or you could just use
leader ability.
Leader ability there.
And passing. Obviously, you do want to see some of these limbs early on that actually allows you to restand your characters so they can't be swung into. But alas, not seeing it on Lim's side. So we'll have to see what goes from there.
Now Ace is on going second, so I believe it'll be a 6 on turn. Can play the Yamato if he wishes. Let's see if he actually does have the Yamato. Won't be able to play the Yamato, but does have the Jozu.
That's right. But is the Jozu even good here, Paul? What do you want to be, taking back to hand? You probably don't want to put the 5-cost Sanji to hand.
I reckon put back the Saba because it draws you more extra cards, and especially with the requirement being fulfilled with 2 or more cards being rested, it just can keep swinging as well as getting you to get more cards in hand as a
There's also the fact that this Sabo is it is rested right now. So do you just swing into the Sabo and then use something else on Jozu, and maybe that is the play that the ace is going to go for?
Yeah, trying to really bait out as many cards as possible from the Lim's hand, which is actually quite short right now. I believe that is 4 cards in hand, and does pitch out the Doflamingo, swings another 6 into 6, and there you get out of here. And plays the Jozu and bounces back this Sanji into hand, which is lowering the aggression that the Lim player initially wanted at the start. And we're seeing the repercussions now. Not being able to see that 1-cost Lim at the start, which is very unfortunate. Let's see what is that the 3? That is a 3-cost searcher that I can see on the hand on the Lim's hand, I believe.
I'm not 100% sure. Yes, it is indeed. Yeah, correct. Also does see, is that the restand Mihawk? Because that is another shenanigans that Lim can do, is multiple restands with that Mihawk. Because there's sometimes you're like, oh, I'll take an 8, that's no worries, and you get swung with an 8 again, and you're like, oh, I've made a mistake here. I've done that too many times, and that's why we're commentating. Well, I am at least.
Plays 3, gets himself the Lim Searcher. We'll be able to look at the top 5 for any Odyssey cards. Let's see if the Lim gets lucky and tries to draw a card that is going to be giving them the field advantage. Is there any cards that can bounce? No, none at all. Yeah.
Not known for green to be bouncing cards, but there's the Enel. So the Enel is a draw 3, trash 2. So it just allows you to cycle your hand, see more pieces, and kind of mold your hand better. Which is, I think that's kind of what Lim has been struggling with. Having to play that Sabo out early, I don't think that was the play that they were looking to do, but did work out at the end. So
yeah, with 6 dons is still playing around. Lim is contemplating whether he should add another extra body, playing 3 using the Lim ability and getting himself the Enel.
That's right.
So on play, draw 3,
trash 2.
Yep.
Just you get to see the pieces you're looking for. And speaking of, there's a 10-cost Shanks in there, and you feel like that's going to be one of the key pieces in this game, Paul, because how do you deal with multiple 10-cost Whitebeards? Well, you play your bigger boy as well, and that is 10-cost Shanks. The Emperors of the Sea, fighting each other.
Yeah, and also on that initial draw, the 1-cost Lim came a bit too late.
Yes, correct. Yeah. You want to be playing that on 1, that's the perfect curve, going 1, 3 into the search, and then both become unrested. And then, because the 1-cost Lim says, at the end of your turn, you may unrest on any of your Odyssey type characters, and that's going to just be constant value because your opponent has to swing at your life and can't deal with the crackback that comes each time.
Yeah, very unfortunate for our Lim player over here. Now, still has 3 Don to still play around with. Possibly play the 1-cost Lim now if he wishes, just to protect one of the bodies on the field. Still contemplating which cards to trash from that Enel on playability, and does exactly that. Plays rest 1, plays the 2-cost Lim, and then plays an additional. What is that?
Is that the Nami? Stopping a Don from coming out. So does that? And our Ace was on. Wow, really interesting tech. You know what that does? That allows the Ace not to play the Whitebeard event.
Oh yes, it really stalls it out. So just 1 Don away. Great move from our Lim player. What other possible responses can the Ace player play on their 7 Don turn?
Yeah. 8 done, but one of them arrested. So we'll have to see. It looks like it might be a Garp into another Jozu or something along those lines. I mean, that would definitely be a very ideal play. And I think we're seeing, oh, wow, it does see the Jozu in the top 4 if they wish to take it. I think we're seeing the power of Ace here. You know, although they missed the 8 drop turn, they are still very strong with this Jozu effect, which I think we were expecting to see here.
Yeah, it goes for a cheeky little 2K swing into the limb. No blockers available. We'll have to let that go. Done your job, Liv. Thank you very much. Goes for a 6K swing into lead. Only have 2 cards. Is that 2 cards? No, 3 cards in hand. We'll have to pinch out, and he decides to take the life.
Most of them are events actually as well. I think there's still two slow. Oh, taking a 7 as well. Just brutal. And we're going to see this Jozu be played here. Bounce one of these cards back to hand. Maybe not the Enel, maybe the Ace or the Limb. I don't know. At the same time, Paul, you do see actually these Limb cards actually get a lot of value by being played on play. So maybe Jozu is in the play. We'll have to see.
Goes for another 6K swing, doesn't really care, and plus goes for a 2K counter over there, really applying that pressure, and then there we go, there's Jozu. Bounces back the Garp into hand, and puts back the Enel back into hand as well. That is one less 6K swing to worry about. 10 Don turn. You reckon the Shanks is a little too late now?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, you are getting your Shanks down before a new gate is dropped, but at the same time, I feel like the weenies of Marco, of Jozu, and Ace himself, you know, the White Pirates, they're just a bit too strong, and I don't see a way for Lim to kind of deal with this board at the moment as well with what they're showing, and yeah, there it is, there's the Tenko Shanks.
Tenko Shanks restanding all 10 Don. Now Lim hasn't used their leader ability yet, but can use this time to now invest in some characters by applying Don onto them, going for either a 6 or a 7K swing. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay. 6-7.
No. Just contemplating what cards can Lim possibly play with that 3 Don.
I mean, is the idea as well that you kind of keep your Don up as well for these slow beams that are in your hand to be able to deal with the onslaught of the White Pirates. I don't know. I feel like the way that the Lim's hand has kind of been showing to us as well from that last turn, taking a 6 and taking a 7 as well. I've actually seen a man shake in rage about that. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, it's just like these hits are not ideal. So keeping the Don up for the events is probably what the Lim is looking for. And they're also playing. Is that Dead Man's Game in the hand, Paul?
That is correct. Dead Man's Game with a couple of there's also Usahachi.
Hawk.
What is that 2-cost event on the left-hand side? Is that yeah, that's slow. I'm assuming that's slow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was after an Enel effect as well, though. So drawing those cards and getting rid of 2 of them. So we do see actually a lot of rest effects from the Lim, wanting to be able to control the board, control the blockers, and hopefully try and find a win. But I think we look at the Ace going to a 10 Don turn next turn. They've taken 0 life, Paul.
Yeah, and it's also the Ace is looking quite healthy with the amount of hand cards in. Well, actually, no. It does. That looks like it's 5 or less.
5 or less, yeah, about that.
Yeah, and would you say that it's time to be swinging and clearing board at this point? Because the Lim sitting on 2 life, that is like what you have to worry about a 7K swing. You have to worry about a 2K swing, and also next turn is going to be the
the block bid.
The block bid attaching 2 of the rested Don to the leader as well as that character. I'm still contemplating, but might potentially see a 9K swing, try to maybe clear out that Jozu, and it does exactly like that. Yeah, using the leader ability and then adding a plus 1000 counter onto that, so just surviving. Passes the turn off to Ace. We're gonna see the man, the myth, the legend himself on that 10 Don turn. But before we do that, we're just gonna go fishing for a bit.
Yeah, let's see what we can get. What kind of cards are in the Lim's hand? We know their events, but Ace does not know. So it looks like 8's going to be the number. Looks like opting for board as well, and I think that makes a lot of sense. The only way that I think the Ace probably loses his matchup is by not going as aggressive as they want to. By going too aggressive, sorry. So controlling the board, getting rid of the Enel, getting rid of more of these pieces. Yeah, it's going to be efficient. And there it is, Slow Beam.
It's a slow beam. It's a +2, so it's plus 3000.
+2, yeah.
No, +2 or
+2 because he did have to pitch a Mihawk for that ability to go, to firstly protect the Enel, and then going to be resting more than likely. He's actually going to opt for the Marco blocker. Interesting. So valuing no blocks on the crackback for ace more than what the Jozu is. So yeah, as you can see, it's just showing that 1k counter. Yep, awesome.
No more Don available. Does have one Don for that Dead Man's game. Just clarifying what that card does. It is a card that is it's slowly been creeping up in some purple decks.
That's right. We've seen like a few pieces such as like pudding. We looked over to the tables. We did see it pudding X. Still.
Yeah. Hopefully they have become X0.
Very strong purple card. Very interesting. So we'll have to see the kind of spice that goes with it.
Still having that 10 Don, 10 Don to play around with. I think at this point, trying to mill out as many cards as possible from the Lim's hand. Contemplating whether to swing board or swing life here. And I think our ace player is very cautious that Lim most likely is going to be playing Dead Man's game.
Yep. But again, the ace is just sitting at 3 life, Paul. I don't know how scared you'd be for what kind of crackback there would be. Is going to go, as we expected, the ace ability, the Iron Whitebeard event into the Blockbeard. Debating where to put this Don. Is there any worth to putting it onto this Garp to swing 5 and so on and so forth? But it is going to draw 2 first, trash 1.
Yeah, decides to not to use the life ability because you need to wait for the event to resolve.
That's right.
So just passes on that, attaches 2 rested Don onto the ace and 2 rested Don onto their... Oh, the Garp?
Yeah, might be
just to get rid of...
Just to use your Don more efficiently to go 5, 7, and 8. Garp here. So we're going to start with an 8 into an L. 3 cards in hand. Can't use the Dead Man's.
Yeah.
Going to need to see at least a 2k and a 1k here to even consider the Enel surviving. But no, he's going to go 5 lead with the Garp. Navy Garp.
So decides to go with a 2k counter, 7k swing into lead, takes life, and passes the turn back to Lim. Now, Lim looking a very tricky situation right now. I mean, I'm just trying to think, what can our Lim player do in this situation? Let's see what cards he has in hand. Does have the restand.
Yeah.
Mihawk.
Okay. But then how do you use the restand Mihawk here efficiently? You can't use it on the Shanks because I do believe it is Odyssey only characters. Shanks is in Odyssey, but this card isn't in the Odyssey.
Yeah, and I believe there's a cost requirement as well. It's in a 5 cost or less.
It might be indeed as well. So obviously the Shank can't do multiple swings. So the Mihawk probably not as valuable as you want it to be because then you have to at least don up the ace because the ace sitting at 5k. It's just been a bit of an awkward card. Did get the value when it was played, but after that, just kind of sat there.
Splitting up his Don 3 for 3. I'm assuming one of them is going. One of the 3 is going to be the Lim ability. Just thinking from the top of my head, I know that he does have an additional slow beam as well as the Dead Man's game, so he's preparing for the crackback. With 4 Don to play around with, would he possibly do some Don investment onto some of his characters? There is 2. There's is that a 6? No, Ace is a 5.
Ace is a 5 indeed. Yeah, that's the issue here. Is that to be able to restand with a Mihawk, you got to put a lot of Don on Ace, and you've got the Whitebeard just in the way as well, defensive, and Ace on 3 life. I think that's the biggest thing right now. Ace is sitting on 3, Lim sitting on 1. Just hasn't been able to really get through what the Ace has been throwing at him.
Now, let's see. Well, he decides to go fishing first. Gets rid of the Garb. 2 into 2. Nami, you've done your job.
Stoked about it.
It's really stoked about it, yes. No Don active for our Ace, so he can just possibly start swinging into face. Or even, dare I say, you want to swing into, onto the Jozus. Yeah, just to clear board. Goes 12 into 7. Does have the 10 cost beard still there available. Would just possibly need a,
1k counter.
Yeah, 1k counter.
Or leader ability. That's right.
There's a couple of 2k counters available. I do see that there is a Utama as well as that's a... And goes for a, block. 30k swing. Garp, you've done your job. 4 Don still available. I think he might be going for that. So the Lim ability might possibly go with the restand Mihawk. So by attaching some Don onto either the Ace or the Lim, go for a double hit. Try to clear as many cards as possible from the Ace's hand and try to pressure more on the Jozu's face.
Yeah,
goes for a 9k swing onto the Jozu. Hasn't used leader ability as of yet. Does have 2k counters still available in hand.
Yeah, definitely a bit, going for board here because it needs to be dealt with. You've got 6, you've got 7s, you've got 12s, all these things that are coming straight back at you. And is going to go 9 with the limb as well, opting not to play the Mihawk or use the leader ability. We know what this is going to be. It's actually just going to be 2 Don up for a slow beam.
Yeah. And restacks his limb at the end of his turn, passes the turn over to Ace. It looks like this might be the end for our limb player. Goes for a 9k swing.
Is going to need to slow beam here, but even then it's not going to be enough Don to actually counter out of this new gate. So it's kind of not a waste. A waste is probably the wrong, thing to say about it, but you have to know it just takes it. Goes down to 0. Do you surely just go 16 with Ace?
And Red rocks the Shanks.
Playing
okay,
very safe, very safe. I mean, that's probably the biggest threat that you have here as well. So he's just going to start with 7 at lead. Going to get 2 cards out of hand. Going to be the slow beam. Rest the Marco.
We'll need to pitch out another additional card, and there we go. There is the Whitebeard.
And then just goes 10 with Ace, and that's GG. Ace dismantled a Limb deck. I think this is probably one of Limb's harder matchups. It's probably more here for the Emus and maybe the Zoros as well. But yeah, you just see the power of Ace.